Hi, welcome to Snowview. In this video, we're going to discuss the most effective tips for increasing your email open rate. Whether your campaign is doing great or not heavily depends on your email open rate. If no one opens your emails, then you cannot make a profit from your campaigns. So what is a good email open rate? How do you measure the success of your email campaigns? And how can you increase your email open rate? Generally, the email open rate is calculated by taking the number of people who opened the email and dividing it by the number of emails sent that did not bounce. For example, if you send 110 emails, 10 of them bounce, 20 are opened, your email open rate is 20%. Once you calculate your email open rate, it's important to analyze whether it's good. That depends on your industry and country. The average open rate across all industries is 21%. However, the average rate should not be your definitive benchmark. For example, for nonprofit organizations, it's 25%, while for the automotive and aerospace industries, it is only 12.6%. One of the best markers you can take into consideration while analyzing your email open rate is the performance of your previous campaigns. Look at your campaigns you've sent over recent months, outline your email opens in a graph, and add other metrics, like click-through rate and unsubscribes for each campaign for a more in-depth look into your performance. By combining these two indicators, the average industry open rate and the past performance, you can fairly judge your current email open rate and work on increasing it. So, how can you increase your open rate? By following these 9 best practices. Qualify your email lists. The main and the most obvious advice for boosting your email open rate is to only send emails to people who are likely to be interested. To qualify your leads, pay attention to their source, like whether the lead has subscribed to your content through a form or was collected for cold outreach, to better define the late stage in the pipeline. Your target is to build a list of contacts who actively engage with your content, so they must fit your ideal customer profile as closely as possible and receive the content relevant to their stage that they want to open. Segment your lists. Segmentation is basically grouping your leads based on common interests, needs, and preferences. The main purpose of customer segmentation is to personalize messages so you can target and sell to these segments better. You can divide your lead base based on their geographical position, like country, region, state, city. Demographic data, like sex, age, occupation, etc. Customer behavioral factors like attitude towards an issue, product service usage rate, performance, and engagement. And psychography, that is the lead's personal activities, interests, and opinions, aka customer AAOs. At Snowview, we segment our audience by location to provide content in the customer's native language, as well as edit our approach according to cultural differences. And we're always in their inbox at the right time, thanks to time zone relevant schedules. This helped us analyze our country-specific campaigns better. For example, we saw that our average open rate in Brazil is 50% higher than in America. Plus, this allowed us to create country-specific improvements. We were able to create country-specific A/B tests and grow and sometimes even double the open rate of individual campaign emails for Brazil. Use a personal sender name. Sender name is the second most important part of the email preview besides the subject line. It plays a huge role in your open rate. It's the first opportunity to build trust with the lead. An email with a personal sender name looks more human and important and is more likely to be opened. This is confirmed by our LinkedIn poll we recently ran. You can use your first name and last name, or your name plus company name. For example, Xenia from Snowview. And never use your email address as a sender name. There's few things that look spammier than that. Create a catchy subject line. Your subject line should work like a hook that catches your recipient's attention. It should indicate strong value or trigger curiosity. either will push your recipients to open the email. Here are some things you need to consider while working on a converting subject line. Optimize your subject line for mobile devices. It should be seen on a small screen. Bear in mind, your recipients will see only 4 or 5 words. Add odd numbers to your subject lines. Numerals are easy attention grabbers. But you may wonder, why is it better to use odd numbers rather than even? Simply because our minds subconsciously group numbers, and even numbers are easier to ignore as they are already symmetrical. Odd numbers, however, hold our attention for just a little bit longer. This small psychological trick can help you occupy a bit more time in your recipient's mind. Use emotional power words. As you may guess from the name, these power words trigger an emotional reaction in your recipients, making them excited to see what's inside the email. You can use power words to evoke all kinds of emotions: trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, anticipation. You can find more power words by checking our article in the video description. There, you will also find a downloadable list. Keep your subject lines short. This doesn't mean long subject lines don't work. They absolutely do. However, the longer it takes to read the subject line, the less likely your lead will have attention to do it. As we've mentioned, more and more people check their mail on their phone, meaning the long subject lines get cut, leaving the lead guessing. We always recommend A/B testing your subject lines to see what works best with your audience, both in terms of the length and the content. Most email senders allow to A/B test your emails, and Snovio does too. That's what we did in our own campaign. The shortest subject line got about 25% more opens than the longest one. Ask questions in your subject lines. Questions evoke the need for an answer, especially if it is a question your lead may have been wondering about themselves. For example, why do humans exist? Use meaningful pre-header text. Pre-header text is often underrated. However, it can also be used to intrigue recipients and engage them to open the email. If your sender allows for custom pre-header text, try using it as a logical continuation of your subject line. Get personal. An offer for you. Limited time offer. Don't miss your chance. These subject line cliches should be working, but they miss one important element: a personal touch. Add personalization that goes beyond the person's name and the company name, and your recipients will be pleasantly surprised. Choose the right timing. The low open rate can be explained simply by the wrong timing. Send your emails when your target audience is active at most. Segmenting by location should help you. Keep an eye on your sender reputation. Whether your emails will be opened or not also depends where your email will land, the inbox or the spam. It all depends on your sender reputation. In our guide on how to improve your sender reputation, you will find out what a good sender reputation is and how to maintain it. You will find it in the top right corner and the link to it in the video description. Clean up inactive recipients. Passive contacts inevitably damage your deliverability, so remove them from your list. Try using a list cleaning service or do it manually by filtering them by engagement or email status. If you like a challenge, you can try winning these inactive recipients back. If you haven't seen any reaction from a contact, try sending a win-back email sequence to re-engage them. If you still don't see any reaction from them, don't hesitate to erase them from your list. Email open rate is one of the most important metrics for analyzing your campaign, and growing it directly affects your conversion rate. We hope these tips help you create truly engaging campaigns. But if you're having a hard time landing in the inbox in the first place, make sure to check out our series of spell filters and how to deal with them while growing your outreach. As always, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned on our latest sales and marketing growth guides. See you!